King Henry III. And this is the version that has endured through history and went on being reissued until it passed into the written law of England. They're written on sheepskin, which was what would normally be used for that kind of document, using ink made out of natural materials, of course, oak and iron, rusty iron, mixed up together, and in the end it makes a very powerful ink which can be used on these documents. It's written in Latin. Both documents are in Latin, but in an abbreviated style of Latin, so that people today would find it difficult to read unless they were trained to read this kind of writing. And of course the style of the handwriting is a particular style which was used by the official clerks who wrote out documents for the royal court, so that it's what we call a documentary hand. It's a particular style of writing. It's different from the writing that would have been in books that were produced at that time for ordinary reading. There is a strip, a blue strip, and that is a kind of control thing, measuring fade, so that we can actually look at that after some time, and it's a kind of international standard for measuring degree of fade, so we can work out as the strip fades what the degree of fade might be on the documents, and that's important to know for the future how long.
Take the opportunity to come and see Magna Carta with their own eyes. Here in Sotheby's, the director of Sotheby's here, Kevin Ching, is going to speak to you shortly. I'm particularly grateful to Sotheby's for hosting Magna Carta. It has to be hosted very carefully. It's a very sensitive document. I guess if you've survived 800 years, you'd be pretty sensitive. So it has to be kept in very special conditions. But I think Magna Carta tells us a lot about rule of law, standing the test of time, and about the aspirations that humankind has had for a very, very long time, for rights, for justice, for freedom, and really thrilled it's here. Got it. Thank you. Now, introduce Canon Fulham from Hereford Cathedral, which is the host of Magna Carta, this version of Magna Carta in the UK.
Thank you. Well, it's very good to be here, part of a global tour, as you will know. We started in New York and passed through Luxembourg, and then we've been in mainland China, in Beijing and Guangzhou and Shanghai, and we're delighted now to be in Hong Kong. And the two documents we've brought are both very significant in the history of Magna Carta. Of course, it's the larger document which people focus on, the copy of Magna Carta that we have. But I want just to tell you that there's a small document with it, the King's Writ, and that is the only surviving copy of a very important message sent by King John from Runnymede the day after the first Magna Carta was sealed. It's the only one of those messages that survives. It's the only piece of evidence in the world that King John did a single thing to implement Magna Carta. And for that reason, it is an absolutely unique and vital document in British history. But the Magna Carta that we have dates from 2 years later, when his young son had become King of England. King John died unexpectedly, and his son was 9 years old. And the Magna Carta that was issued by his guardians in his name is a more refined version than the King John Magna Carta, which was essentially a peace treaty made to stave off civil war. The Magna Carta of 1217 is a refined, considered version, and it is the version that went on being issued throughout the 13th century and passed into the written law of England, and so is actually the version which is the basis of so much of our common law tradition, and for that reason is a terrifically significant document. We've had it at the cathedral, as you've heard, for 800 years, and it's the first time that it has travelled into Asia. It's been to the United States once before, but this is the first Magna Carta ever to come to Asia, and we're tremendously proud of that. In Hereford Cathedral we have a proactive policy for sharing our treasures, and so very much we're delighted to be part of the enterprise, sharing with the British government in partnership with others, and gloriously in partnership with Sotheby's here to be doing that. I thank you for your interest.
Thank you. 我係蘇比嘅亞洲行政總裁。我想話俾你聽咧，就係我哋非常之榮幸咧，能夠今次展出大憲章嘅。我哋2012年嘅時候咧，做咗呢個藝術空間，主要就係展出藝術。今次係我哋第一次展出一啲係非藝術嘅物品，但我個人覺得咧，呢一個比藝術更加重要，因為如果一個社會冇咗大憲章裏邊提出嚟嘅精神同埋原則咧，嗰個社會係應該做唔出一啲好嘅藝術同埋一啲盛世嘅藝術嘅。呢個非常之重要。咁另外一個原因就係大憲章係我哋香港基本法嘅基石。咁作為我以前亦都自己係一個律師，咁我非常之高興咧，能夠有機會自己親身睇到大憲章嘅原本。我哋非常要多謝咧，就係英國政府、英國